If you're watching this video, and maybe because you just got arrested for DWI, now you're wondering if you really need to hire a lawyer for DWI. It's also possible you're strapped financially. Therefore, you're trying to see if you can afford a DWI attorney. You may be thinking that you have no defense, so what is the point of even hiring a lawyer? After 17 years of practice in criminal defense, I definitely believe it is the defendants who have a bad case that need help the most. With all the information on the internet, you may be thinking that you'll just Google all you need to know about DWI. Almost every day someone will ask me about a law issue they read on the internet, and it will be completely inaccurate or based off law from another state. Most, if not all, of what you read online about DUI is just marketing from other law firms. Even if it's applicable to the defendant's case, the defendant is analyzing it incorrectly. So then I, as a lawyer, have to explain how it applies to his case. Almost every time someone asks me about something they've read online and how it applies to them, I end up telling them it has nothing to do with their case, or it applies differently than they thought. I know it's tempting to want to rush to the internet after getting arrested and look for answers like, well, I'll lose my license after getting arrested for DUI. But you will not get accurate information there. The reason is that every single case is different. It's not like all DWI cases are so similar that you can just put a quarter in a machine and get the answer. If you're a pleasant arrestee, the police officer will often tell you that you'll just take a class and pay a fine, so don't worry about it. If you're not pleasant, he won't say anything, which is actually being honest with you. Never take legal advice from a police officer. I'm certain police officers have no clue about the consequences to a defendant's driver's license, criminal record, insurance, and just life in general. I hear that cops tell defendants all the time to just go plead guilty. It shocks me that the defendant actually thinks this is a good idea. I couldn't imagine taking the advice from a police officer, walking into a courtroom, and just pleading guilty without an attorney. That police officer who was nice to you and gave you legal advice will be at your trial on the stand testifying against you, saying whatever he needs to say to justify arresting you. He is not your friend. Many times during the arrest, he'll play good cop and he'll be nice to you, so you'll talk a lot. If you talk a lot, you will end up giving statements about how much you drank and how drunk you are. Never take legal advice from a police officer. You see lawyers everywhere offering free consultations. As a recent arrestee, you may be thinking, oh, I'll just call a lawyer and get free advice. Then I'll know what to do. But have you ever received anything for free that had any real value? Think about it. Do you really think all those lawyers are sitting in some office waiting by the phone to give free legal advice? Imagine that lawyer drooling over the opportunity to spend an hour on the phone with you to tell you all you need to know how to get through your DWI without having to hire a lawyer. That's not realistic. They want you to call, so you hire them. No lawyer can really give you any beneficial advice on your case until he gets the police reports and possible video from the prosecutor. There's a process to all that. Also, he has to be in communication with the prosecutor to be able to even know what your options are. Also, he has to have the driver's license administrative hearing to be able to advise you regarding your driver's license. None of this can be done without actual representation. Think about it. Would you call up a cardiologist and ask them to give you free advice as to why you have heart palpitations? Would you call up an accountant and ask him to give you free advice on how to file your taxes next year? Remember, you get what you pay for. If you pay nothing, you get nothing. I put together a little list of common questions and issues that you will likely have but will not get answered unless you hire a lawyer for your DWI. You'll just have to be comfortable not knowing these answers. Everyone is different. Some people don't care about their well-being as much as others. Like I said before, all these issues would get answered by your DWI lawyer because he can dive into the case in various ways. So the questions are, can I drive? How long is my license suspended? How can I keep driving? I have to drive for work. What do I do? How can we resolve this so I don't lose my job? Will I go to jail for blowing over .15? What about home incarceration instead of jail time? What do I tell my insurance company? What happens at the court date? How long will this be on my record? I can assure you that the answers to each one of these questions is different from case to case. You can Google the questions, but as I stated earlier, you'll get information that will not apply to you. I can certainly understand how you would want to avoid paying thousands of dollars for a DWI lawyer. I hate having to pay the bill to the accountant. I have to do it every year. But I do it because I know it helps me. I couldn't imagine getting arrested, then not hiring a lawyer. Just the thought of going into a courtroom and having a prosecutor and judge against me, and I know nothing about the law, would be enough for me to want a lawyer. So if you feel the same way, feel free to reach out to us. DWI is a large part of our practice. We're not spending our days working injury cases or writing wills. We are in various courtrooms handling DWIs. We are DWI lawyers. You wouldn't go to a foot doctor for a heart problem. You need a DWI lawyer for your DWI. I hope this video has helped answer the question of whether or not you need a lawyer for a DWI.